5 stress management strategies I want to share with you guys today. With all the stuff that's going on right now, I feel a lot of people are going through some stresses. And you know what? Unfortunately, most likely things are going to get even worse, and we need to get a handle on this. So the very first thing I want to talk about today, I have 5 strategies, but I just wanted to talk about a philosophy of fire starting. I taught my daughter how to start fire with a flint in the woods when we go camping every year in our mini retirements. And the thing that dawned on me is that having a skill like that you might most likely never use, but the fact of the matter that you know how to do it, it alleviates this stress. Let's just say, the crap really hit the fan. You needed to cook. You needed to heat yourself. You needed some light. The fact that you have this in your arsenal, in your toolkit, relieves a lot of stress. And you wouldn't believe how many people we encounter when we're traveling, especially staying out in the woods and things, where they don't even know how to start a fire, right? It's crazy. So I want to talk about all these 5 strategies here today, and I want you to take that fire start, to light the fire inside yourself, to look at these philosophies and these strategies and incorporate them and invent other things into your life. So the very first thing is how a resilient and sustainable life hedges most stresses. This is a lifestyle design. What happens is when you're becoming more of a producer than a consumer of your life, there's a lot of the less stresses of things going on where if the energy goes out, right, you've got a generator, or you've got, better yet, solar panels, or even better yet, I'd say a windmill, no matter what, right? You're producing energy for yourself. Growing your own meat, your own poultry, getting eggs, gardening, all of these things the sustainable life movement, the lifestyle design really alleviates a big portion of that stress, because even if you were removed from the environment from which you live in right now and placed into a whole new environment, you have those skill sets to till the earth, to plant seeds, to tend these plants, right? These animals. You have this in you, and it makes you feel, from my experience, a lot stronger, especially when you see other people freaking out and not having the ability to do these type of things. So a resilient living lifestyle design and sustainability is a huge hedge against stress. Return to the earth through gardening is my next subject matter here. And guys, I think we can solve the world's problems with just gardening. When you're out there in the dirt, right, with your shoes off, and you're grounded, as they say. Remember, in the past episodes, those of you who follow me, you know that my dentist referred to me to this thing called a grounding blanket that they use. They have to plug it in, right? She says, we're not as fortunate as you to be out in the dirt and the sunshine all the time in the fresh air. We're always stuck under artificial light. Well, these growing plants, there's this innate, there's this natural, even if you've never gardened before, right? If I showed you a tree or a kale that was yellow, right, or yellowing, was light green, I showed you one that was rich green. You've never gardened before in your life. You never had these experiences, but something inside you tells you that this is wonderful. Some dark, rich chocolate soil, right? Something that you've amended, right? You put compost in it, and you see it as dark. It just looks like chocolate, like a fudge cake, right? And it's crumbly and it's soft, and there's something in you that tells you, with the worms and microbiology, the things you can see, that there is life in this soil. This is something good. So it alleviates a lot of stress. It's scientifically proven. Negative ions, being out in nature when you're at the ocean or a waterfall, it's very relaxing. And these are the things that we all miss in our lives. I think with the stress is we're disassociated with nature. It is my philosophy that we come from nature, but we're not really part of it until we start designing things like permaculture and natural farming techniques, growing trees and plants, and then having the wildlife come in. What happens now is that you are part of it, truly a part of it. What you do affects nature. What nature does affects you. So now you've become part of this symbiotic relationship where the ants and the bugs and the birds and bees and everybody are working, making honey, right? And it's because you provided something, but they're also providing something for you. Now you've become part of nature. My next one is design your life. I don't know how many people that I see out there that have no design, right? No purpose, really. And think about this: if you're an airplane and you're flying to other countries, right? You're designing a route, right? You need to get from point A to point B. If you don't know where you're going, there's no design there. you're kind of just flying around in circles. Eventually you're going to run out of gas, and guess what? The plane's going to crash, right? And that's a lot of stress. When you start designing your life and you know where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and yes, life happens and you're going to have to pivot and rotate and try new things, right? That's called life. But without a direction, without a design implemented in your life, I think a lot of people are just basically just pissing in the wind, right? Shooting off the hip and never hitting anything because there's no design. It's very important, I think, for us to design our lives, to know what it is that we need, to know what we want. God, I ask so many people, that are upset. I start seeing, talking, and especially after a couple drinks, people start spilling their beans, right? And I ask them, what are you doing about all these things? And what is your dreams? What do you want? What do you want out of this? And life is, I don't know. I don't even know how to find what I want, right? And I got to start giving some more solutions to this show. So to me, dream. Just dream. Just think about what makes you happy. I see so many people doing simple little things where they like knitting, or a friend of mine, I asked him about business. He says, I want to be like an artist. I want to design backyards. I want to get a backhoe in there and I'm going to move trees and plant trees and do all these things. And that makes me feel like good, like I'm designing it, right? There you go. Find out. Just keep doing these mind experiments. As Einstein said, the most powerful experiments he's done was thought experiments or mind experiments. Can't remember which one it was. But these are the things that we implement into ourselves and start to dream, basically. And listen how wonderful that sounds. This is the advice. Dream. Dream like when you were a child. Remember that? What are the things? What did you want to be, right? You still have that in you. You just, all these stresses and things have put a damper on it, or in fact maybe extinguished it, and you need to get that flint of life and rekindle that fire inside you so that you start looking around you and start exploring things of what it is that you want. And brings me to my next one, which is only control what is in your control. I see so many people focusing on the wrong things. There's sequence of events in life, things that need to happen in order to get you to where you need to go, right? But there's all these obstacles. COVID-19 does, well, I can't, whoa. Listen to me, I'm almost saying it. The cerveza sickness, right? Inflation, wars. Am I allowed to say wars on YouTube? I have no idea anymore. But all of these things, these are out of our control. No matter what we do, right? The feds are still going to print money. It doesn't matter how much you complain about it. The world keeps moving on. It'll move on with or without you. So control what is under your control. Find out what you want to, what your dreams are. Dream a little, dream. Find out what your dreams are. Explore yourself and start to focus on the things that you can control. You want to make more money. You can control that. You want to save more money. You can control that. You want to get that bigger house. You can do that. Or maybe you might want to step back and start living below your means and start saving some money. You're in full control of that. Everybody is. And some people say, no, I'm not. There's tons of opportunity. We just got to get out there and you got to do the work. But focus on the things that you can make a difference and a change in, like your community, yourself, right? Your mindset, and everything else will start to fall in place. And sure, we're still going to have hurdles, but only focus on the things that are an asset, not a liability. And the very next one I'm going to say is you got to eliminate negative relationships. I almost put eliminate people, negative people, where I'm like, oh, we just go out and throw them in the desert. No, we can't do that. Relationships. I don't know how I can tell you guys other than the relationships that I've cut from my life, the negativity, the people who are not productive, the ones that are trying to control things they can't control. We're all sitting there, right, complaining. And look at the crowd. Look at these people who they just love to feed on the negative, right? And I think it's because they're lazy, right? They're just lazy. They don't want to sit and they don't want to look at the things that we can do and start focusing on, because that takes work, right? Instead of having our drinks and coffee and everybody joining hands and saying how horrible things are, becoming part of a community of negativity, where's the positivity at, right? Get rid of those people, and my life has changed dramatically, guys, dramatically. It's only every once in a while that I'll go around. I still have friends. I haven't cut them out of my life completely, but I've very limited time with them. And in fact, what will happen is you may think that you're going to get lonely. You don't want to lose your friends. You may find that you start hanging around more positive people, or even better yet, by yourself, and start figuring out what your dreams are and implementing work, putting things in place to make your life better. You start to realize that people are a waste of your time. and that it's negative, and that doesn't even make you feel good anymore, because you start moving from that transition from negative to positive. Negative and positive, you put two magnets together, flip them around, opposite polarities, and they won't go together, right? There's this force field, this negative push against them. And it may scare people, but I'm here to tell you guys, cutting people out, even family, certain members of your family, if they don't make you feel good, there's no obligation. We're not obligated to each other for anything, right? Start spending that time and watch how productive you will become. And watch the stress. I think we feed on each other's stress, right? When someone's getting all negative or something, we get negative. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You'll have this, you start taking on other people's bad energies. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Somebody you never knew, or just somebody you know, when they come in, you're just like, oh God, they're going to crash the party. This Debbie Downer just going to start beating their drums, and it's like nobody could talk, right? Or every time you say something positive, the negative just shows up again, and it sucks. And you're just like, oh my God. And you find yourself just sitting there quiet going, why am I even here? Right? Well, I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to help you guys out in any form, fashion that I can. I am scared that things are going to get a lot more stressful, and we need to learn to manage these things, and we need to get our mindsets and philosophy to sum it all up, all of these things we said today, to learn to light your own fire, to eliminate negative people, control only what you can control, return to the earth from which you came from, and design your life. Start designing instead of having it designed for you. You guys realize that's what they're doing. People think this is all there is. It isn't. We could do more stuff. We're not stuck. And think about how a resilient, sustainable life can hedge against all this stress, how it just cleanses the body. It's something that we know inside of us needs to happen. And when we do it, we feel good. And guess what? That stress just starts to just disappear. Guys, that's the show. I hope I've helped you in any way. If I do, like, subscribe, comment in the comments below, all that good stuff. Talk to you guys on the next one.